All right, my watch list for Thursday, FEYE. Nice volume today. And I want to watch this one. You kind of have a trend line there. I didn't draw that perfectly, but with this volume, I want to watch this for more upside. I don't have a trigger price for you. I'm going to have to wait and see what it does on an intraday basis. But I like that chart. As a matter of fact, the first post I put in the chat room this morning was like 1 or 2 minutes in. I typed out FEYE strong. Now I made 0 off of that. I didn't do anything with it. But it caught my attention early. And I think this one could be a multi-day runner. So anyway, TRUE. Now I don't love this one. But if you take today's candle out of it, this had a very nice bounce off of that last support area. Went down through it, but then closed strong. And TRUE's been pretty strong. So now, I mean, if it gets over Wednesday's high, which would be about right around 20 bucks, Thursday's high is also, I'm sorry, Tuesday's high is also right there. So it's not that hard to see, but again, I don't love this one, but let me put a line here. There we go. I mean, you can kind of see it. So up over that line, this one could move again. If you go back to the daily, this one makes some really big moves at times. And it made a pretty nice move from 14 to 24. And, you know, maybe finding support here. But I'm spending too much time on this one because it's absolutely not my favorite. RADA, we had a nice bounce, nice trade in it today. I'm not going to go over that right now because I made a separate video on the TKMR and RADA calls from today. So it's on my YouTube channel if you want to watch it, but I won't bore you with it. Nice trade in that today, though. And, you know, closed above its open. This thing went from $1.50 to almost $6.50 and finally finding support at the 20-day. So if this one, you know, nice after our trade was here and we had a nice push, well over 10% in probably 10 minutes. And now you've got just a long base for support. And it looked like it's sneaking up a little bit near the close. So I want to watch this one for a potential pop. TKMR, again, I made a video and we had a really nice trade in this one. It broke above recent highs today. Let me go to 60-minute candles and show you that. And you've got other highs just above now too. So you kind of had resistance right in this area. And we got the nice breakout above that. And let me pan out to the daily again. You don't have a lot in the way of more upside here. Okay, this high around a little over 22. I could see it pushing through that and maybe challenging this one of these days. So, but only with a proper intraday setup. This is one of those stocks that if you can catch kind of a narrow range, let me go back to 5-minute candles, like today, all right? If you can catch it in kind of a narrow range, and you had actually some pretty good setup there with a high and a lower high. So we got in it right when it got to about there, when it broke that, thinking it would push through the high of the day and then through recent highs and rip. And you can see what this one can do. I mean, in 5 minutes, it was up probably 80 cents. So this is one to watch, preferably with a setup like we had today. Okay, keep in mind, you've got 2 green days already in a row. So at this point, it feels a little like chasing. SINO. Again, another what you call a stupid, crazy move from $1.50 to over $4.50, but 2 big red days now. You know, this is on bounce watch now, especially if it gaps down and we can catch a break if it's early high to the upside. But there's several ways we play these bounce plays, and I'll only do it with a proper intraday setup. I know that's not very, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not very descriptive because I don't know how it's going to open tomorrow, so I can't say, hey, SINO, this is a great place to buy tomorrow. I just don't have a number picked out. And JMEI, and this is a very short list, and this kind of feels like one of those days where, you know, tomorrow we might find 4 or 5 trades, and none of them will be from this list. It kind of feels like one of those lists. There's other days I go into a day, and I'm in love with 2 or 3 stocks, and that's really all where all my focus is in the morning. I can't say anything like that from what I've shown you today so far, and this is the last stock right here, JMEI. So tomorrow won't be one of those days where I've got, hey, XYZ, I love it. I'm going to kind of count on the teamwork in the chat room that hopefully together we'll find some nice setups on an intraday basis. So, okay, having said that, JMEI, you know, so it went public back in May and sold off down to 22. and then made a move all the way up to almost 40. Well, this thing is almost back down to those IPO lows. But we had a very nice bounce the other day off of, what was the low there, 24.54, and we're down 4 days in a row to that area. Chinese stock, and with Alibaba coming public on Friday, there may be a bounce in some of these things. So this one, I really like it, especially if it gets down to that 24.50 area. I'll be looking for an intraday bounce. But again, I don't look at this daily chart. I'm not bullish on it by any stretch. But with Alibaba, Chinese stock, and back down near where it bounced very big, 24.5 to 28 in about a session and a half, that's an interesting area again. A couple other things I think are worth keeping on your watch list. MOBI, I just want to be careful not to chase. So MOBI made a really big move. And if you look at it on 5-minute candles, it made it all in the last 10 minutes. We've seen that before. So I will have this on a chart. It seems extended already, and actually it's up to about 11 in after hours. But I'm still going to have it on a chart. That's MOBI. I also want to have IFON. Again, it had a crazy move, then a gap up, and then a red day. So I want to watch that one for a potential bounce. And let's see. If you really want some strange ones, NETE. I had this on bounce watch for today when it looked like that, and then it gapped up, and I just never did anything with it. But that one's still worth watching. And then HPJ. Again, I don't want to chase, but HPJ, I'm going to pan way out. I mean, you definitely can see where this one could get crazy one of these days, and it's not hard to see that you're near recent highs, and a big move today percentage-wise on big volume for this stock. But again, I do not like to post stocks where I feel like I'm chasing, so I'm not going to just buy this tomorrow if it breaks today. I feel like it's extended. But when I show you stuff like this, like HPJ and IFON, that have made crazy moves, these deserve a spot on one of your monitors, every day going forward, because we might get a couple-day pullback in HPJ, and then after the recent action, this one becomes very interesting again. So today is kind of the irresponsible day to show this to you, because I don't really like it tomorrow, but I do think it should be on your, on a chart somewhere going forward. All right, I've babbled long enough. We will talk to you guys tomorrow night. Have a good night.